Look at that pile of snow behind me. Yeah, winter sucks. Winter is one of the worst time for people to be trucking. Therefore, if you are a new trucker and you're trying to establish yourself in this industry and you want to keep your career as long as possible, there are certain things that you need to know in order for you to make that happen. So I kind of come up with certain tips on or suggestions per se on how you could actually help that make that possible. I would say I've been trucking for over 3 years now, and so far I would have to say I've been fortunate with my winter driving, and I've actually started in the winter time. There was some logic behind it, because when I started in the winter, I had the chance to ask my trainer all possible questions and stuff that I could have encountered, and then therefore having someone right next to you to help you guide through to the worst of winter. And it's kind of like starting a game in very high level. So by the time summer has passed and spring came through, life was on easy mode. Rule number 1, be brave, but don't be stupid. All right, so I had to clean out my window real quick. There's a thin line between bravery and stupidity, and that line is usually crossed when you actually ignore your instinct. If you ever get a chance to travel in the interstate after a snowstorm, it's literally a graveyard. You have cars all over the place, trucks, rubbish, all of that stuff. And in order for you not to be part of the statistic, you first have to know what is your limitation before you test it. Oof. In other words, don't confuse stupidity with bravery. That means that if you're gonna take risk, take calculated risk. Understanding the weather pattern, understanding how bad it is outside before you decide to actually test your skills. And even then, when you get onto the road, slow down. What's the rush? All right, normally shouldn't be doing this shit, but I was just too crazy. Too often, I've seen truckers zoom past me, speeding away and everything. Only about half hour to an hour later, I see them somewhere stuck in a ditch or in a bank of snow. So, don't be that guy. That's what it looks like driving in wintertime. All this carnage and everything. Yeah, it's not easy, so be careful out there. If you're gonna drive in the wintertime, if there's snow on the ground, slow down. Especially when you're gonna go across a bridge. That's when you usually have icy condition on the bridge due to the condensation that's going on underneath the bridge. Makes the bridge usually tend to ice up the bridge. Try to avoid driving at nighttime, because this is usually when you have black ice and it's harder to see at night. That's when you have fogs. That's when you have foggy season and all these other aspects that makes it very, very difficult for you to see. And if you cannot see, you may not have a good night. Yo, look at that. Oh man, this is freaking awesome. Number 2, if you must change, then your ass should stay. Okay, that kind of sounds corny. But the whole premise of this rule is that if it's snowing outside, or if the weather is bad enough that you feel like you actually have to put chain on your tires, then you shouldn't be driving at all. Not because that I think that you are a bad driver and then you cannot actually test yourself in this situation, and actually that is exactly what I'm saying. But there's also other factor than just you driving. Because you see, whenever snow starts to fall and you have a lot of four-wheelers, so that's what we usually call regular cars, people that's coming out of work try to make it home before the weather gets too bad. So then therefore these people tend to, so let's say, drive like idiots. And therefore, no matter how good you think you are, you cannot combat the amount of idiots that you find yourself in the road driving with. It's not just the four-wheelers. It's also other truckers and experience and tend to be more stupid than brave. And therefore, instead of slowing down and take it easy, they tend to just speed at the regular speed they usually do. And you don't want to get caught up on the road with these type of folks. So if you feel like you have to chain up, I would say call your dispatcher, let them know what's going on, and then technically they cannot force you to drive anywhere. So they have no other choice but to reschedule your appointment. And then, tuck yourself in the bed, just put on your favorite Netflix show or whatever you tend to watch.
What are you doing, step bro?
And then just go to sleep. Enjoy your day off so you could live to drive another day. Number 3, be efficient with fuel and food. There's nothing worse when you got up in a winter storm and you don't have enough fuel in your truck to warm yourself up, or worse, you run out of fuel. Personally, that never happened to me, because one of the things that I make sure I always do is, as soon as, especially in winter time, as soon as my tank is halfway down, then I find me the nearest truck stop, which tends to be Love truck stop, and I just fuel up and therefore get myself back up again, just in case I can't seem to find any other fuel stop anywhere near me, or God forbid that I'm actually stuck somewhere in Walmart and I can't move for the next 2 days because of a snowstorm. As well as you got to make sure that you have enough food in your truck, because once you have a snowstorm, the possibility of the stores to be opened up, such as a store or restaurant to be opened up for you to be fed, it's highly unlikely. Therefore, if you have enough food in your truck, things you could actually make yourself, such as ramen noodle or things you could manage and scramble. Well, I'm pretty sure that we have enough body fat to sustain ourselves for a couple of days without any food. However, it will be a miserable 2 days if you don't have anything to eat. And drinks as well, make sure that you have water so you can drink, eat, keep yourself hydrated, and very nice and toasty because you have fuel in your truck. Unfortunately, sometimes if you are a new driver and your truck may not be equipped with things such as microwave or fridge, but one of the things that you could actually do is you purchase a portable stove. They're actually not pretty pricey. They are between $30 to $60, and you just plug them in your 12-volt gauge and just warm up your food, and you can actually even make some noodle soup. I used to have that before. I had the privilege of having fridge in my truck and as well as a microwave. Therefore, if you can buy you one of these things, it will save you a whole lot of trouble. I don't know if you may have noticed by now, but I don't always follow my own advice. Therefore, I don't expect you to follow my advices neither. However, if you decide to get yourself on the road and you have to chain up, you have no other choice but to chain up. Because, you know, some of us are more greedy than the other, and we figured out having a whole day off would actually definitely mess up our paycheck. Or maybe it's not greed. Maybe you do have scheduled to go home, you have something to do important. You cannot miss out your appointment. And you figured out that taking a day off would definitely mess up your schedule and you will not make it to something very important in your life. And you decide to try to drive during the bad weather. Don't really recommend it, but if you must, okay, cool, fine. So, certain things you should know before you go anywhere, you know, because you're a stubborn bastard like me. So make sure you have at least 3 pairs of tire chain. And you have, you know, 1 pair for the front and 2 pairs for the back. I know, this is the part where we're supposed to pretend that we take a shower every day as truckers. We don't, right? And one, it's not always healthy for you to actually get rid of the oil that your skin produces every day you take a shower, right? So I would say the good ratio would be like once every other day. However, now winter time, it's very difficult for you to just hop in there, take a nice hot shower, and then step outside in the cold. So that's a disaster right there. You're putting your health at risk. So one of the ways you could actually remedy such situation is, one, you make sure you take a shower during the daytime when the sun is still out, and so it's at least a little bit warm. So you know, even though you're exposing yourself to the element, and it's actually not that bad. And 2, if it gets really, really cold, I mean, you just hop in your truck right there. You just, you know, you warm up a towel, one of those small little towels, stuff like that. And then, you know, you just, you know, like freshen up downstairs, you know. Or if you really want to get innovative, just see one of these things at the truck stop. Just steal one of them. Don't worry, it will be a little secret. You already pay for it.
Riddle me this, Haitian. How many truckers you think had probably wiped their ass with that towel you are now using on your face?
What a fuck. You had to go out of your way to ruin my day, huh? Prick. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, mesdames et messieurs, I hope that segment was actually very helpful. And yes, if you enjoy this content, you enjoy what I say and what I do, and you would like to hear more about my sexy ass voice, so subscribe to the channel, and share, like, and let me know down below in the comment section what other tips that you actually may have when it comes to trucking during the winter. Au revoir. Peace.